Stepping in the spot, confidence on display. Elegance and motion, we move our way. No time for games, we've outgrown the chase. In this grown and sexy space, we set the pace. Eyes meet, the vibe is right. Conversations deep into the night. Sipping on wisdom, age like wine. In this moment, everything aligns. Grown and sexy, feel the groove. Mature rhythms make us move. No drama here, just pure delight. Living for the moment, owning the night. Oh, 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 oh. Dressed to impress, but it's more than the clothes. The aura we exude, the life we chose. Sophistication in every glance. In this dance of life we enhance. Laughter echoes, stories unfold. Sharing secrets, being bold. In this circle, trust is key. A sanctuary for you and me. Grown and sexy, feel the groove. Mature rhythms make us move. No drama here, just pure delight. Living for the moment, owning the night. Oh, oh, mature rhythms move. Refined, lessons learned now intertwined. In this ambiance we find our peace. A grown and sexy masterpiece. Oh, 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 oh. We've been through the fire and earth we fight. Lessons learned now intertwined. In this ambiance we find our peace. A grown and sexy masterpiece. Grown and sexy, feel the groove. Mature rhythms make us move. No drama here, just pure delight. Living for the moment, owning the night. As the night fades, memories remain of the time where joy and wisdom reign. Until we meet again in this space. Grown and sexy, full of grace.
Hey everybody, hey. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. This is my first live of the new year and I'm excited about it. And I'm just so happy to see each and every one of you here. Again, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Let me speak to my people that's in here. Hey, Nene. Hey, Living Live. Hey, sweet dark chocolate. Hope you're feeling well. Hi, Pie. Hey, D Dirty. What's going on, sister? Good to see you. Hey, Joyce. Hey, Sheena. Hey, Deidre. And look at Abs. Hey, Abs. Hi, Omar. I'm here for it. Hello, hello. Hey, Queen Spirit. Hi, Mel. Hey, Shanta. Thank you for coming by, girl. Hey, Warrior. Hi, Terry. Hey, MJ. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. It's good seeing you all. It's good seeing you all. I'm very excited. I'm actually super excited that, we're all back together again. It feels good. It feels good, y'all. I mean, it's like a breath of fresh air, especially when you know the love is there. It's a fresher breath air. And y'all know that I'm, dibbling and dabbling in true crime. I love digging into these stories. They are interesting. Chase do the Mammy Mondays. You know, we were talking about mammies over here. We were talking about mammies. And me, on the other hand, when I'm doing this true crime stuff, guys, I mean, mammies galore, galore. And I enjoy pulling up their shit because, you know, in the real world, you would be like, people don't live like that. But as you get to digging and as you start seeing these stories, that shit is real. Hey, Bobby, how are you? People actually live like that. So me, on the other hand, I don't mind pulling them up. I don't mind digging them up. But before we get into the story, guys, what I'm going to do, I first want to say thank you for to each and every one of you that's here tonight. That's my first thing. I want to get that out of the way. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys so much for being here. And secondly, I want to say how proud I am, y'all, of my goddamn self. Because yesterday made 6 whole months that I've been on YouTube as a content creator. And I'm like, well, goddamn, it's been 6 months. Feel like I've been on this motherfucker forever. But I'm proud of the milestones that I made, you know, on YouTube as an upcoming content creator. And without you guys, there could be no me. There could not be a me. And I appreciate you guys so very much. I appreciate you guys. And lastly, I want to say, for those of you that don't know, tonight I want to wish a very, very, very happy birthday and a very happy anniversary as well to my sister, my friend, my mod, Fifi. Happy birthday, girl. We love you. We love you. We love you. And I hope that you had your heart's desires today. You're blessed, Fifi. Not only is it Fifi's birthday, it's her husband's birthday and her anniversary. She got a 3-for-1. She got a 3-for-1. And also, before we get too deep into this, I also want to extend my condolences to Abs. Abs is with us tonight, guys. Abs love us. Abs is with us right now, but Abs is in the air. He's traveling. Abs is on his way to the UK. He has death in his family, and we wishing him traveling graces and sending prayers up to him for his loved ones. We love you, Abs. So tonight, guys, we are definitely going to dive in to this story. Oh, no problem, Abs. We love you. We're going to dive into this story, guys. Teresa Black. Now, as we go through this story, I want y'all to just don't forget some key points, because, man, as I was going through this story, some of this shit sounds like a story I done heard already here in this damn street sector. Different players, but some of the locations rang a bell. So we're going to talk about Teresa Black tonight, guys. And the title of our live tonight is Buried Truth. The Teresa Black trial that shattered a 24-year silence. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. So I'm going to give you guys a few highlights of this story before we dive into it. This story goes back to 1992, which is why it makes it a cold case file. In 1992, 15-year-old Teresa had a son. In 1994, Teresa was out of hand, so her people couldn't do shit with her, so Teresa was staying in the boarding house. While at that boarding house, a fight broke out between a couple who also was staying there. And the couple that was staying there, name was Tamika Wooden and Jimmy Lee Samuels. That was that couple. So Jimmy allegedly hit Tamika with a golf club, blah, blah, blah. And Teresa and Tamika took out running. And it was chased by Jimmy. And somehow Teresa had a gun. Nobody knows where the gun come from. Teresa fired a shot. She hit Jimmy in the back. Jimmy was taken to the hospital. He died from his injuries. Teresa went to prison. She was convicted in September of 1994 as a youth defender. And she stayed there for a year and a half, almost 2 years. And she was released from custody in November of 1996. When she was released from prison, she initially lived in Charlotte, North Carolina with her son. Now, Charlotte, North Carolina, that's the first thing that we have to. Now, remember, I told y'all to remember some key places. Told y'all I would never want to live in North Carolina. So in 88, well, she went to North Carolina. So in 1988, she moved from Charlotte, North Carolina, and she went to Atlanta, Georgia. While she was in North Carolina, I moved a little too fast. While she was in North Carolina, before moving to Atlanta, Georgia, Teresa went to, in North Carolina, she worked as a stripper. She worked as a stripper. So by that time, she moves on to Atlanta. When she moves on to Atlanta, she is no longer Teresa Bailey. She goes by the name Teresa Black. So in December 1988, Teresa, again, like I said, she had this son. She pulled her son out of school and they moved to Atlanta. Now, this is just key points I'm touching. We haven't gotten to the story yet. In 99, she returned to North Carolina, but without her son. She was questioned about her son. Teresa had no answers. She couldn't tell nobody about the whereabouts. And she kept changing her story. And we're going to get into that. So on February 26th of 1999, unidentified remains of a child were found in a cemetery in Atlanta. And the remains that were found, they were suspected to be Teresa's son. They had on, he was wearing the exact same thing that people said he left South Carolina with. She does, Fifi. Then Teresa had a friend while she was there, Ava. Ava was the one, kept looking for Lil William, kept looking for Lil William. Ava tipped off the tip line. That's it. The story gets deeper. Ava described that child to a T. So the story went on. Story kept going on. So in 2017, nobody heard shit from Teresa. Teresa moved to Phoenix, Arizona. Despite continued efforts by the DeKalb County Police Department, the medical examiner's office, and media coverage, the child still remain unidentified for decades. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children became involved in this case in 2020, featuring the story on their website and social media channels, as well as following a few leads. In 2019, a forensic artist completed a facial reconstruction, hoping to draw attention to the case through the media. That's when Ava came into play. Ava saw the reconstruction. She saw the reconstructed photo and she called into the tip line in May of 2020. And she also called a lady who did a podcast, as well as the Center for Missing Children. So here, police and prosecutors follow up on Ava's tip. After many months of investigating, investigators finally tracked down Teresa Black and got a DNA sample from her, which matched the DNA found at the scene. With help from DNA analysis and technology, investigators were now able to identify the boy as little William Deshawn Hamilton. Finally, after 23 years, that child had a name. So from 1999 to 2022, he was only known as Clifton Doe. When he was found and removed from the wooded area in DeKalb County, it was noted that he had a substance or substances in his system containing diphenhydramine and acetaminophen, as well as he also suffered blunt force trauma to the head. Now, we know that acetaminophen is a pain reliever, a fever reducer, it's such like a Tylenol. Diphenhydramine is a antihistamine, something like Benadryl. And they said together it's a combination medicine used to treat insomnia. Teresa indictment says that she failed to seek medical attention for him and she never reported him missing. After 2003, Teresa had no known contact with the legal system until she resurfaced again. Guess where, guys? Teresa resurfaced in Alaska, where she was being sued over unpaid medical bills. Now, isn't it somewhere on this app, in this sector, have not we heard of North Carolina, Alaska, and Atlanta? Baby, so this shit is, I don't know, but my mind remembered Atlanta, remembered Carolina, it remembered Alaska, and it remembers Atlanta. Okay, let me finish. On June 28, 2022, she was arrested in Phoenix, Arizona, where she was then extradited to Atlanta, Georgia. Do you remember the girl over there in the basement? And she said she left from South Carolina and went to Alaska, and now she's in Atlanta? Man. There she was charged with 2 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of cruelty to children, aggravated assault, and concealing the death of another. And the reason for the 2 counts is because the child is under the age of 12. They said her trial started on January 2nd, 2024 in DeKalb County. At this time, Teresa is 46 years old. So before I get to this story, let me read some of you guys' comments, because that was just an opening to where we're going with this story. Let's see here. Let me back up. Let me see where my comments start. All I know, yeah, Fee, she was a stripper. She was definitely a stripper. We've heard, even in this sector, we heard the stripper story. We've heard the North Carolina, South Carolina, whatever damn Carolina story. We've heard the Alaska story, and we've heard the Atlanta story. This shit is all tying up some kind of way. Some kind of way. So let's see. Okay, Donna says she'll be back. She's on prayer call. Benadryl and Tylenol, exactly. That's what she gave that child, and then hit him in the head. So Nene says, wait, what? Tylenol and Benadryl together do what? Hopefully don't make me a junkie, because I sure did both together a lot. Oh, shit, Nene. Hi, Juice. Juice says, Mocha, I love your true crime story series. Your show have a way with breaking it all down. Thank you, love. Hi, Gigi. Yes, Terry, baby, this is horrible. You ain't heard shit yet. Thank you, Abs. So let me get her man's name. Her main name has Tasha in it. I think that's her middle name. Okay, so here we go. Now we're in court. We're in court. The state says the skeletal remains of a small child were discovered in a wooded area in DeKalb County. The wooded area was near a cemetery and across the street from a church. But the bitch had enough sense to bring her child by a church, which didn't make it right. A grave digger stumbled upon the body when he went into the woods to relieve himself, and immediately he notified the police department. The police arrived with crime scene investigators and a forensics officer. There, the scene was secured and processed, and the remains were recovered. The body was laid. She had no decency about herself, y'all. She had no decency about herself. The body was laid upon pine straws in what appeared to be an attempt at a shallow grave in those woods, where she didn't make much of an effort to hide the baby. The child's skull, y'all, had detached from his body and was found 6 to 7 feet away from the rest of the remains. As the investigators began digging in the dirt, they were able to recover bones, fingers, and teeth. What was left of the skeletal frame. The medical examiner's office took charge of the body at that time. The clothes that was left on the skeletal frame and the shoes, they were still there. That baby had been decomposing from 5 to 7 months. They could not look for bruising because there was no skin on the frame. There was no blood to test, but they found some tissue. They found some tissue on the skeletal muscle near the leg. Trauma was noted. That there was a fracture to the skull under the eye socket. And they said that this type of trauma is normally seen in abuse cases or an automobile accident. Medical examiner's officer and a toxicology officer and also an anthropologist, they could not determine the cause of death due to the decomposed body. They could not determine the amount of painkillers that was administered to him. But what they did know was that the painkillers were administered a few hours prior to his death. Therefore, the death certificate cause of death had to be listed as unknown. Unknown. Trying to identify the child and why he was in the woods, they sent out bolos. They spoke to neighbors. They went to churches, went to schools. They reached out to the media, and they even reached out to the maker of the clothes that that baby had on. And that way, by them reaching out to the maker of the clothes that the baby had on, they were able to determine what store sold those clothes at that time. No one knew anything, so the case went cold. So at this time, y'all, the child was packaged up like lunch meat and placed in a drawer in a morgue in the medical examiner's office until he was identified. He sat in that medical examiner's office in that drawer, y'all, for over 20 years. Over 20 years. As the story continued being put out there, a break came in this story 20 years later, as someone thought they knew who the child was after the drawing, the forensic drawing. They saw the sketches of the child through national organizations of missing children. The lady that saw the drawings, her name was Ava McNeil. She said that she looked for little William all these years. She said the last time she saw him, he was 4 or 5 years old. She said that's when she knew Teresa pulled him from school. She said Teresa said she was moving. She said she saw little William that day. They hugged real tight and she didn't want to let him go. She also said that Teresa wasn't a good mother to him. She said Teresa spoke very roughly to little William. He was always dirty. He was always smelly. His hair was never cut. She said the school even complained, saying that little William smelled bad. She said that little William smelled bad. But she said Teresa, on the other hand, working as a stripper, was always clean, had new clothes every week, had new wigs, got her nails done. But Teresa was living with her dad and his girlfriend. Before that, she lived with her mother until the mother passed away. Now, all this Ava lady that's telling this story, this Ava lady used to babysit little William, so she knew him very well. She knew him very well. And Ava said she's been searching for little William all these years. But we're going to get to that. She celebrated that baby's birthday every year, even without him being there. But we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Hey, Chase. Hey, no nonsense. Hey, V. So Ava says she know at her damn house she had access to soap, water, and money to buy that child some clothes. She said she asked Teresa to let little William come to her. She said Teresa refused. She said Teresa was selfish. She only thought of herself. She says she felt sorry for little William. She said, but Teresa wouldn't let him go outside to play. She wouldn't let him be with other kids. And he damn sure wasn't eating right, she said. So she said, she asked Teresa, could she take the child out? Teresa once again said no. She said people in the community felt sorry for little William. He was such a bright child. At that age, she said between 4 and 5 years old, she said he was so articulate. She said she had never seen a child so bright. She said little William could have read a whole encyclopedia at that age. She said little William was a gift to the world. He was definitely a gift to the world. So even the neighborhood feeling sorry for little William and would give him clothes and toys. Teresa would take him and lock him all up and not allow him to touch it. Ava said she remembered how Teresa gave him something to eat and little William complained about it being hot or too spicy or something like that, she said. And she said Teresa flung little William against a wall, threw him in an empty room, and she got up and she said she intervened like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? She said, holding Teresa, she said, so she told little William when she held Teresa, get up and run. Get up and run. So little William ran out the house. She said she remembered another incident where he wanted to go outside and play and Teresa told him no. Little William got upset with Teresa. Little William being a kid, he did what he do. Little William started pouting and he cried. Everything a kid that age would normally do. She said Teresa grabbed Little William and punched him in the chest and called him a punk ass bitch. Now who the fuck does that to a 4 or 5 years old? Who does that? But okay, Teresa, you bitch. The story continues. Ava said, this is who Teresa was. This is what that child went through. So now with all this good information, the investigators went to Charlotte They spoke to a few people. They even pulled the birth certificate and determined Teresa Ann Black to be the mother. And the father of little William was none other than William Harris Hamilton. That was the child's father. Now, they find Mr. Hamilton. They interview him, and he indicated that he most definitely had a son named William, but he lost contact with him when he was a small child. He said the mother prevented him from ever seeing him again. When that man said that I was calling him deadbeat, I just said all kind of shit about it. I said he was lying, but story gets better. So now the dad says he had no idea where his child was. So then the investigators tell him what they believe. So here it is, the father. He's completely shocked to learn that the child found in the woods could possibly be his son. So the father volunteered a sample of his DNA for comparison to a sample taken from the remains. Well, the results came back, bingo. Most definitely his son. At this point, everything was turned over to the DeKalb County law enforcement to follow up, y'all, on additional leads. Now it's time for them to go looking for Teresa's stank ass. This time they located Teresa living in Arizona. A search warrant was obtained for Teresa's DNA and to interview her. They flew off to Arizona in February of 2021. They met up with Teresa. Teresa said there like it wasn't shit. She said she didn't mind them asking her questions. They asked her where were some of the places that she lived. Did she have a son? Teresa refused to answer either one of those questions. But Teresa kept saying to them, I have a 17-year-old daughter that loves me dearly. That loves me dearly. They asked her, are there any more children? Teresa says, no. I only have a 17-year-old daughter. That's my only child. And she loves me dearly and I love her. So then the officers begin to ask her. The officers begin to ask her, what about Georgia? Do you remember anything about Georgia? I'll drop it. Do you remember anything about Georgia? So when they ask her about Georgia, she says that she lived there briefly. Then all of a sudden, Teresa remembers she had a son, y'all. They asked her, where was he? She stated that she left him in the care of a friend that she met in Atlanta because she could not afford to take care of him. And she lost touch with him by the time he was 7 and hadn't heard from him since because the people that she left him with supposedly moved. Oh, the members link. Okay, thank you, D. Fifi, could you drop the members link, baby? Thank you. These officers were not believing shit she had just said, y'all. So they challenged her by saying, so you really believe that you have a 30-year-old son out there in Atlanta just waiting on you to find him? She said, yes. So they show her what they have. Pictures of what they found in the woods. and told her that they believe she knows something about it. For a while, Teresa sticks to her story. And then she acts surprised and upset. And she can't believe that he's dead. Oh, she cut up. She's boo-hooing like a motherfucker. She couldn't believe he was dead. After a while, she admits, not only do she know that he's dead, but also that she was with him and he was in her care when he died. She goes on to say that she moved to Atlanta looking for a fresh start. She was living in hotels, but her money ran out real fast. She said she was financially in trouble. They had no food. They were sleeping in parks and eating from dumpsters. She said she knew something was wrong with William, but she didn't know what. She thought maybe he wasn't getting enough to eat because he didn't want to get up nor talk to her. So the officers asked her, "Have you given him any cough medicine?" She says no. She said, "But I did give him a throat lozenges." She also says that they were wandering around in the woods looking for a place to sleep, she said. She said they went to sleep, and when they woke up, he was dead. She didn't know what to do, so she just left him there. Bitch. Teresa went on and on and on, jumping all over the place with her story. Teresa admitted to never enrolling him in school while he was in Atlanta. But people were sick of Teresa. So experts concluded through a timeline of events that this child's death occurred within a few days of them being in Atlanta. Within a few days. Thank you, Chase, for becoming a member. Within a few days of them being in Atlanta, y'all. They said from the way they knew he was treated according to Ava, and the way his body was hidden in the woods, and the fact that she denied giving him medication was alarming. Because one thing they knew, medications not properly administered to children could be very toxic. Now, we know that she's innocent until proven guilty. But shit, it took that whole 25 years just to say something. So the defense, she got a state-appointed lawyer now. He says that after everything's get presented, there will be no evidence of Lil William being abused or neglected. Then he introduced Teresa to the courts. She's 46 years old now the daughter is 18 years old. And she loves her so very much, she says. She has a partner with whom she resides with for many years. She's worked at the same company. He painted a picture for Teresa. And he went on saying she was a good mom. But bitch, you forgot Teresa left a child in the woods. How could you paint such a picture? He says that Teresa had a very difficult life. I don't give a fuck. So he went on to say Teresa had little William 2 weeks after her 15th birthday. When Teresa was 18, her and Lil William only support system tragically passed away, which was her mom. Little William was 3 when his grandmother passed away. He so claimed the father wasn't in the picture, so Teresa had to do it alone. When Lil William was 6 years old, Teresa lost her job in Charlotte, and no other strip club there would hire her. And she couldn't find work doing anything else. He says it was tough. So she moved to Atlanta looking for a better life. He says Teresa told him that the woods was a quiet place and a safe place for her and Lil William to sleep. They were away from the noise. And she supposedly shook William several times to get up, and he never got up. So enough of this goddamn defense attorney. Here we call Miss Ava. They called Miss Ava to the stand. Now, Miss Ava is the lady that cracked this whole case because, like I said, she had been looking for Lil William for over 20 years, celebrating that child's birthday every year, and he was not even there. She had more love for that baby than his own mom. Ava got on that stand. Ava was a beautiful 50-year-old teary-eyed woman. She sat in that witness chair and she identified Teresa looking right at her. She was asked, how did she meet Teresa? She explained that they met in passing while walking through the neighborhood. And she said she first spoke to William. She spoke to Lil William first. She said, and with teary eyes, she said that she was amazed at his response for his age. She said, she told him, hi, she said, she looked at Little William, she said, hi, handsome. And he replied back, hi, beautiful. And she said, Teresa, look at Lil William and in awe. And she said something under her breath. And she said, that's when the two of them struck up a conversation. And she said, that was back in 1995. So then the state presented pictures of Lil William, 3 pictures to be exact. And thank God for those pictures, because those pictures were the only pictures of him, and they were provided by Ava. The mama, that no good bitch, didn't even have a decent picture of her child. She testified that William was not enrolled in any school. As far as she knew, the school that he was previously enrolled in, that was because William Sr., his father, enrolled him in school while they were there. She said she was living with her father on Beach Nut Road, and eventually she had a boyfriend after the baby's father that moved into the home along with the father's girlfriend. So that's a whole lot of shit going on at that house. She said she had no idea Teresa had lost her job. She said that was news to her because people that she worked with were questioning her whereabouts, looking for her. And she said these were co-workers from the strip club and a uniform company that Teresa worked at part-time. She said Teresa didn't lose her job. She explained that Teresa's relationship with her own child was like a detachment. She said she would offer to bathe the boy because he was smelly, his clothes were dirty, his hair was never cut, and he couldn't play with others. She testified that everything that should be done or given to a child on holidays and birthdays, the community would rally together and give it to him. But Teresa would not allow him to enjoy any of it. She testified that she met Lil William's dad once. At that time, the dad went to pick him up for visitation, him, his mom, and his sister. They were supposed to have Lil William back by 7 o'clock. She said they get there. Hi, Marlene. She said they get there. It was between 7:15 and 7:30 when they dropped Lil William off. She said, and just because they were a few minutes late, Teresa got to screaming that he would never see his son again. And she said that it wasn't because she wanted to say that, the lady said. She said she was trying to impress the new man. So as this lady is saying that, she's looking directly in Teresa's damn face. How the hell can you be that possessive of your child, yet neglecting the fuck out of him? Teresa, you a bitch in my eyes. So Ava continues testifying about how she witnessed the physical abuse and how she rescued him from it by taking him outside. But after him being outside only 10, 15 minutes, Teresa ordered him back in the house. She testified that Teresa told her that she was moving to Atlanta one day. She said Teresa told it to her one day, and the next day she was gone, supposedly with some man named Big Mike, who Teresa met in a strip club. Ava says all of this was shocking to her because she had spent so much time with Teresa and Lil William. She said she also testified that she asked Teresa, well, Teresa, are you facing some sort of hardship because your dad done moved out? You can't afford something? Teresa, tell me what's going on. Teresa says, no, we're fine. So Ava went on to say that she offered to keep Lil William while Teresa took a break to get her shit together. Teresa told her everything would be just fine. She said that she was going to live with a grandmother and a grandfather. They had them a place to stay, and they had lined her up a job. She testified about the last time she saw Lil William. She said he was wearing the exact same clothes that they found him wearing in the woods. She said that a week after Teresa left, Teresa called her sounding high as a motherfucker. She asked her where was Lil William. Teresa claimed that he was in a hotel room with her friends. She said she told Teresa, bitch, you ain't got no goddamn friends. You in Atlanta, you don't know no goddamn body. Lil William don't know no goddamn body. So all of a sudden you got friends? All of a sudden you got friends. She said, now hang up this goddamn phone and call me back. Call me back so I could hear Lil William. She said, and when you go back, get everybody out that goddamn room that you say is in that room, because Lil William shouldn't be with no one. She said that was the only time Teresa reached out to her. She said she hadn't heard from Teresa anymore after saying that. So she goes on to say that in December of 1998, she gets another phone call from Teresa. Teresa was back in Charlotte at this time. She showed up at her house around midnight. She claimed that she was only there for a couple of days to do her taxes and she was going to head back to Atlanta. Now, mind you, Teresa left Charlotte to go to Atlanta in June. In June. So here it is, December of that same year, the bitch is back in Charlotte again. So Ava began asking her, Teresa, where's William? So Teresa says, well, I didn't bring him because I had a lot of running around to do. I had a lot of running around to do. And he's with his grandparents. So Ava said, okay, bitch, I have free long distance. Let's call. She said, oh, he's with my friend and I don't know the number. Teresa's story is starting to change. Then the next day, Teresa got a whole different fucking story. Well, you know, his grandparents are old and I don't want to bother them. Later, she gives another story. She says, Lil William is in a hospital with pneumonia. And I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to be upset. At that time, Ava said she was in tears. Ava said she told Teresa, look at here, bitch. If you can't tell me where the hell he is, you can't stay in my fucking house not one more night. Not one more night can you stay here. Because now I'm getting sick of these crackhead lies. She said before Teresa admitted to her where that child was, Teresa grabbed her little bag and she left. She said she hadn't seen Teresa. She said she hadn't seen Teresa. She said she saw Teresa again in the summer of 1999 at a convenience store. And she asked her, she said she grabbed Teresa's hand, holding Teresa tight, and she asked her, pleading with her, please, Teresa, please tell me what happened to our son. If you did anything to him, I'm your friend. I won't turn you in because I know whatever it is, God will bring justice. She said Teresa snatched away from her so fast and said, so what you think, I killed him? Now that lady never said that. That lady never said that. So she said that she continued running across Teresa in the streets, yet still no answers. Teresa refused to tell her where Lil William was. She said then one night, pouring down raining, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Teresa knocks on her door, asking her, could she stay the night? She said she looked at Teresa and told her, hell no, bitch, get off of my porch. Get off of my porch. So she says she ran into Lil William's dad a while later, and he asks again, where's my son? She said she told him the only thing that Teresa told her, they're with your grandparents, William. Teresa said that little William is with your grandparents. William looked at her and said, what the fuck? Not my grandparents. Both of my grandparents been dead for years. For years. So they're not with my grandparents. And this was in High Kenyatta, and this was in April of 2000. Ava said she didn't know what to do. She said she called 911 and lied. When she dialed 911, she said she lied to those people and told them that there was a disturbance in her yard. So she said once the officers got there, she explained everything that she knew to be going on. And she wanted them to make Teresa ass tell the father where his kid was. So the police tells Ava that she was non-custodial, she had no rights, and this was a matter for the courts. So Teresa is standing there still saying nothing, wouldn't tell shit. So Ava said after this incident, she spent all her time calling every hospital in South Carolina, in Georgia, in Florida. She said she never stopped looking. She said she checked with all DCFS offices, all the shelters. She called everybody she thought she knew. She said she did this for 23 years. She said she searched. She said she, even after having her own children, she said she went to Georgia. She said she couldn't get any answers. She said she started looking at the Missing Children's Network. And she said she was encouraged to do this by her own child, to search for deceased children. So she said after 3 months of searching, Lord, she ran across what appears to be little William. And it was just a sketch. So when she ran across what looked like just a sketch, she then makes a call telling them that she thinks she knew who little Charles Doe was. Now this is in 2020. Ooh, child. So at this time, they got different people on the stand testifying, blah, blah, blah. The next person that they had to testify was the guy that gave a ride to Teresa from North Carolina. And all he could say was that he gave her a ride. He gave her a ride to the Greyhound station. They got co-workers up there. They said she was she was a stripper. They said she stripped. She also stripped in Atlanta at a club called Pleasers. She stripped there. Man, Teresa was a motherfucker. And all of this took place. Now, everything that I'm telling you, this bitch had a trial. She had a trial. She had a trial. This was the first day of the trial. That trial was filled with witnesses. I mean, doctors. Doctors showed analysis of the skeletal remains. They also showed pre- and post-mortem damage. There were also DeKalb County police officers, detectives that testified. They even played Teresa's interview. Then they called Wanda Black. Wanda Black, the child's aunt, to the stage and to the stand. And she was testifying that Teresa had all the help that she needed for that child. Teresa was just being a selfish bitch because they offered to care for little William. She said when little William would go to them, Teresa had a problem because every time he would go to them, he would come back with nice things. He would come back with brand new clothes, brand new shoes. He would have haircuts. And Teresa seemed to be jealous of her own child, not because he only had nice things, but she had a problem with the daddy because he moved on and got another woman. Teresa was a bitch, but the daddy left Teresa because Teresa slept with the daddy's friend. This story sounds too much like some shit I done already heard. So they said Teresa disappeared with Lil William. Nobody knew where she was. When she last saw Lil William was 6. And she said, the sister-in-law said she found Teresa in 2017 through Facebook. She asked Teresa about Lil William. Teresa said he was with his godfather. After Teresa answered the sister-in-law, Teresa blocked the entire family. Teresa went through her Facebook list. She blocked everybody from her past. Everybody. So, on the stand, we got Mr. Black. Mr. Black takes the stand. Now, Mr. Black, his name is LaQuise Black. That was the man that Teresa married. He's from Charlotte. After he and Teresa got married, they moved to Alaska. He said while in Alaska, he and Teresa had a family altercation. He left her ass there and he moved back to Charlotte. He said he met Teresa ass in 1992. They began dating. He said, and when he met her in 1992, Teresa had some shit going on. So he didn't fool with her. So they got back together in 2004. They got married in 2005 and had a daughter. So Teresa told her new husband, eventually, that she had a son. He was an adult at this time, and he lived in Atlanta with his grandparents. He also testified that Teresa kept his daughter away from him when he came back and left her ass. So it seems that Teresa got a pattern. Y'all, that ex-husband said that he badgered Teresa to speak with her son. Now, he's telling Teresa, I'm married to you. I'm your husband. If you have a son and I'm your husband, I think it's time that I get to meet that husband, meet your child. I want to be a part of his life. I want to teach him how to be a man. I want to teach him certain things that men should do and men should know. Give him an opportunity. Give him an opportunity to see if he want to accept me in his life. But nonetheless, I still want to meet him. He said that eventually Teresa made a phone call. After days and days and days of him drilling Teresa with this shit, Teresa makes a phone call. And she put him on the phone with someone whom he thought was Lil William. And he said later he found out that it was somebody that Teresa knew in the streets of Atlanta that pretended to be her fucking son. Ain't that a bitch? Now, at this time, Lil William, he said, should have been anywhere else like 18 or 19 years old. And he said that conversation, that he wanted to have with Lil William was to get Lil William to Alaska with them. He said it never happened. He questioned Teresa about it. And Teresa, that bitch, says, don't bother about it. Whenever he's ready to come, he's going to be ready. I'm not going to force him, and you're not his daddy, and you can't force him. So he said, as time went on, like he said, he left Alaska. He left Teresa raggedy ass there. He moved back to Charlotte. He said while in Charlotte, he got the opportunity to meet the child's father. He said the child's father came and asked him about Lil William. He said that he didn't know what to tell that man. He said all he could tell that man is what Teresa had instructed him to tell a man about Lil William. That Lil William was with family in Atlanta, and she didn't want to deal with him. She didn't want to deal with him. Child, Teresa kept that fucking lie going. Teresa kept that lie going, y'all, for 20 plus years. So now, in this goddamn trial, baby, we got William. William Hamilton took the stage. William said Lil William was his oldest child, and Lil William was born in 1992. He said he met Teresa through his sister. Teresa at that time was his sister's neighbor. He dated her for about 5 years. When him and Teresa split up, he said Lil William was a toddler. He said that when he was around, everything was good, but when they separated, Teresa disappeared. And her parents had custody of Lil William. And while the mother was still alive, they allowed him to continue to see Little William, spend time with them, spend weekends with them, have sleepovers with them. He said then 2 years later, now at this time, while the parents had custody of Little William, he was spending time with his child. He said 2 years later, this bitch reappears with a new man and refuses to let him see his child. He testifies that at one point, Teresa pulled a gun out on him and told him that she was in a relationship and for him to not ever bring his black ass back around her. Jesus. Now keep in mind, ain't nobody playing with Teresa and no fucking guns, because Teresa went to prison when she was much earlier for shooting that man in the back. Teresa ain't shit. Now, the daddy was getting irritated like a motherfucker because that defense attorney, he was trying to downplay it like, don't mention Teresa and a fucking gun. He didn't want her behavior displayed. He didn't want nobody to know what type of motherfucker Teresa was. So he went on to say while being with Teresa, it was him that insisted they enroll Lil William in school. So at the age of 5, he enrolled Lil William in school. He said he provided everything for Lil William, but still could not see him. His only way of communicating with his child was through Teresa's brother. He said the many times that he went over to Teresa's house, he kept getting the same goddamn story. Lil William was in Atlanta. Whew, baby. Testimony after testimony after testimony started surfacing after him. Testimonies from forensic anthropologists, pharmacologists, it went on and on and on. Then the state rests the case. They asked Teresa, you want to take this stand? The bitch said no. So then the defense rests. Then they had their little closing arguments. So the prosecutor said that regardless of the evidence, they had 6 charges in the indictment. Count 1 was a felony murder. Count 2, cruelty to children. Count 3, felony murder. Count 4, cruelty to children. Count 5, concealing the death of another. Count 6, aggravated assault. The state was hoping, or she said to the jury, She wanted Teresa to be acquitted. She wanted Teresa to be charged on all charges. So in the victim impact statements, the child's father, he recommended that Teresa get life because of what she did and the way she did it, how she cheated him out of fatherhood. Ava wrote a letter through tears. 23 years later, she still loved that child. She said today William would have been 32 years old, and she recommend life without the possibility of parole. The grandmother, Lil Williams' dad's mom, she called in and she said how she felt. Teresa ain't shit, that lady said. Teresa ain't shit. So the judge came back with the verdict. Well, the jury came back with the verdict. Count 1, felony murder, not guilty. Count 2, cruelty to children, not guilty. Count 3, felony murder, not guilty. Count 4, cruelty to children, not guilty. Count 5, aggravated assault, not guilty. Count 6, concealing the death of another, guilty. And in my opinion, the verdict came back like this because it was a cold case, because it wasn't enough substantial evidence. Teresa's a bitch. So after the verdict came back, the judge looked at Teresa and told Teresa she was a heartless, she was a cold and disgusting human. Because what mother would do some shit like that? I don't give a damn how young you are. What mother would do shit like that? Teresa Black was sentenced to 10 years. And they gave her credit of 18 months for time that she had already served. So, do y'all think Lil William got justice? Because I don't think he got no goddamn justice. I really don't think Lil William got justice. I really don't. And I know I was talking my ass off, but let me go through some of these comments. Living Life in Florida says, that sounds like someone we know on this app. Hell yeah, Living Life. We done heard Charlotte, we done heard Atlanta, and we heard Alaska. And I'm thinking these motherfuckers is related. Oh, Nene said, I'm way too sensitive to hear this kind of stuff. My legs are shaking like a mental patient. Woo, Jesus. I'm telling y'all that girl around that corner, is related to these people. Nobody can make me believe different. Nene said that's crazy to believe evil lurks in our world. People who can harm children and thinks nothing of it. Thinks absolutely nothing. Thank you, Dee, for becoming a new member. And Sister Chase as well. Oh, baby, this is too much. What mama does this kind of shit to a child? That's what I want to know. What kind of mama does shit like, and then have no feelings whatsoever. You just throw your child out there like he's like dog food. Like dog food. That child did not have a fighting chance at 6 years old. Jules says, and for 20 years, she had no urgency for him being missing because she already, exactly, she knew. She knew his goddamn fate, but she wants to be in stripper clubs. She wants to get high. She wants to do, bitch, That's bullshit. That's shit like this. PP said her male friend said she didn't keep William clean either. He was the one that took them. Yes, he was the one that took him to the bus station. And he said, they asked him, I mean, what do you think about the baby's hygiene? He said, it wasn't to my standards. It wasn't to my standards. Now, for a man to say some shit like that, Teresa, you a nasty bitch. You a trifling bitch. You are a dirty bitch, Teresa. Yeah, V, it happened in Georgia. Look, I ain't never gonna no goddamn North Carolina, and I damn sure ain't going to no goddamn Georgia. I'm not going to no goddamn Atlanta, and I know my black ass ain't never going to Alaska. Something wrong with them Carolinas, and something is definitely wrong with Atlanta. These stories ain't right. These stories ain't right. Ain't shit. Nothing good. I don't hear nothing good. Nothing good from these places. Nothing. Nothing. D says, oh my God, hello, Mocha. I've been woken up to your voice. Last thing I remember, I was watching Chase. She put me to sleep. Girl, you so silly. No, Nene, she never reported. She never reported that she put her child out there. She's a sick bitch. She was a sick bitch. But yet you could sit there. I know you did know somebody, sweetheart, but to sit there and leave that child there and go on with your fucking life, bitch, and got nerve to open up your goddamn legs and have more fucking children, bitch, you sick. You sick. Thank you for the cash app, Nene. Nene says the person who asks, can she take him, never told anyone, was part of the problem, in my opinion. No, Nene. Ava was the hero. She was not a part of the problem. Teresa was Ava's friend. Ava couldn't report a damn thing that she didn't know. Teresa was Ava's friend. Teresa told Ava that the child was with grandparents. She accepted that. She believed that. That was her friend. Little did she know the bitch had done killed her child and left him in the woods. Ava searched for that child for over 20 years. She searched. And then when she saw the child face somewhere, she was able to report it. Right, Fifi? She'd answer those questions by not saying a damn thing. Right, V? Even in death, she denied him. She denied him. This bitch is sick. And I do mean sick. Right, Abs? Exactly. Abs says no, sir. And people wonder why they get called out for bad parenting. Man, fuck that. And they need to be called out every goddamn chance. Every goddamn chance you see bad parenting, call that shit out. These people ain't shit. V said, Mocha, me and Queen are good, and we're down here in Georgia. Promise, I know damn well y'all ain't, V. I know damn well y'all ain't. Man, this shit is crazy. They want to run to Atlanta for a fresh start. Y'all and want to be hookers. All of them want to be goddamn strippers. Sit y'all trifling asses down. Sister Florida said, where are these sick mammies coming from? Shit, there are some stories out there. Man, them stories fucks me up. So I'm going to let y'all handle the mammies here. I'm going to grab the mammies that's out there. And the mammies out there is comparing to the motherfuckers that's here, because this one here story resonates so goddamn well with the little bitch in the basement. I don't give a fuck. And something is telling me that the little girl in the basement is related to these damn people. Unless she's living in her head too with the places that she called. That's too coincidental. That is too damn coincidental. Right, Mel? Why not just give the baby away? She was selfish. She was selfish. But I bet you she kept all the benefits. She kept all the baby benefits. I don't give a damn. And that's how she was surviving, off that baby benefits. Right, Abs? Abs said, just seen her pic. She looks like she could do some shit, Abs. Living Life says, D, this world is so sad, and a lot of women can't have kids. Exactly. Exactly, Living Life. That's my shit. That's my shit. So many people can't have children. Can't have children. And it broke my heart listening to Ava describe how articulate and how smart that baby was. You know, and girl, you robbed the world, according to Ava, of what could have been our next president, because he was smart as shit at 4 and 5 years old. And thank God maybe he had to be that smart, dealing with a bitch of a mama like that. Maybe he had to be. D says, it seems like the ones that got them don't deserve them. And the ones that can't have them would be the best ones. Exactly, D. Exactly. Right. V. Ava kept Lil Williams' voice alive. Ava for the fucking win. I don't give a shit. Ava for the win. Although the justice was not rendered as it should have been, but Ava for the goddamn win. And the thing is, she just didn't want him. Right, Fee? William wasn't a priority. He was not her priority. All this bitch wanted to do is drink. She wanted to get high. Now, this shit sounds familiar, y'all. All Teresa wanted to do was drink, strip, get high, look for men, and run them dusty goddamn streets in Charlotte. That shit sounds super. Hi, Manifest. That shit sounds too damn familiar. Fifi says she sounds like Nika. Who girl? Nene, she didn't want to tell nobody. She was that bitch. Man, Teresa. They need to beat Teresa ass in jail, y'all. Teresa, they gave her 10 years. But the life she gonna live in prison, I hope it feels like 100 to her. I really do. Love you too, Marlene. That's crazy. Look, Abs. Abs asked that same question I just asked. Abs say, why everything end up in Atlanta? Well, Abs, I guess that. Well, Antone come from Charlotte too. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying with this shit? Tone comes from the same damn place. Something is definitely wrong. Something is definitely wrong. But the sad part, in their mind, they're thinking they're going to get a good life. How the hell you gonna go get a good life and you ain't got shit in, you ain't got no plans in play? Man, that's crazy. Queen Spirit said, Ab, the crosses are on some of the wicked people that come in. Yeah, Queen, I think they bring that bullshit with them. I believe they bring that bullshit with them, Queen Spirit. Everybody ain't, I mean, look at how many successful people are in Atlanta. Look at how many successful people are in Atlanta. And everybody that got a problem, they're all scrubs. And not from there. They migrated there with that bullshit. So now they got Atlanta infested like a motherfucker. Right, Fee? Teresa ain't shit. I'm saying, Queen Spirit, you better stay prayed up and saged up. Exactly. Oh shit. Ab says it's funny because in the UK, everyone wants to go to Atlanta. Ooh, Lord. Fifi, that's what she said. Look at here, bitch. Look at here, bitch. Teresa did too much. Right, Mel? Mel said people think they can come up in Atlanta not knowing they need to be established first. And they just running. Just running. What y'all running there with no goddamn direction. But look at Roxanne, Roxanne. Happy New Year, girl. Where you been? Where have Roxanne, Roxanne been? Okay, Kenyatta. Kenyatta says she working, but she listening. Queen Spirit said it's because I'm not from Queen Spirit said she ain't from there. It's y'all, Teresa need her ass whipped. And I wonder if that girl around this corner is related to these people. I bet she is. V says Atlanta has been good to my family. Coming from Chicago, I've seen a lot. Evil lurks in many spaces, no matter where you reside. And that's the truth, V. That's the truth. It's what you make it. Thank you, D. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's what you make it. It's people ain't shit. Fee says she must have looked a lot different back then. Fee, that picture that's on my thumbnail, that was back then. The picture of her, that's the picture. Now you should see her now. Oh, child. Child. Right, D. Teresa was definitely for the damn streets, like most of them. Like most of them, Teresa was for the goddamn streets. How could, all right, I was getting ready to say something, but let me highlight D comment because I see something. D says, how could a woman birth a child and not have any attachments to it? That's just insane to me. I love all three of my little ducks and my 7 grandchildren, and yet we're seeing this in the now. Isn't that some shit, D? How could a woman birth children and not have attachment? That makes no sense to me. That makes no goddamn sense to me. So this bitch just having children, spitting them out with no feelings. You just out here running, getting random dick with no attachments to the man that you done had these goddamn children by. So no feelings for whoever you laid up there with. I don't give a damn if you don't have no feelings for the man, but bitch, you carried that. You birthed that. Man, they got some sick ass women in this world. Ab says, D, even as a man, not carrying my children for 9 months, I couldn't imagine not having a bond. So this shit is crazy. Hell yes. Hell yes. And I admire abs. I admire abs in so many ways. I don't give a shit when you talk to abs. I don't give a damn what time of day or night. Abs is out there with his children. I have so much respect for that man. He picked up his cross and he did his part as a father. You don't see too many men do no shit like that. And for that, I will always commend him. I'm about to pin D comment. D says she doesn't want to be a mother. She sound like Sonny mother. She didn't raise none of hers. D, that story took me back to the same comment you made, because she told us about Atlanta. She told us about North Carolina. She told us Charlotte. I live in Charlotte. She told us about Charlotte. She told us about Alaska. And now Atlanta. Too many similarities. Too many goddamn similarities. V said, Mocha about to send me down a rabbit hole. I'm already looking for the trial. V, girl, that's why it took me so long to come out here with this story. You have to actually make time, find time. You're going to gather bits and pieces here and there, V. That trial was 8 days long, 7 days long. 7 days long that trial was. D says, I'm going to cancel my Audible books and just listen to you. You tell good stories, baby. Thank you, D. Thank you so much. I used to love audiobooks too. This is, oh man. Ab's crazy. Ab said, I like audibles, but you won't get the cussing. Nah. Queen Spirit says, I love Donald Goines too. I haven't, Iceberg Slim, I started on them. I haven't done much of them. Child, but Terry says, I don't mind audibles, but there's nothing like holding and reading a book. I can't read books no more. I cannot. D says, I'm clutching my pearls. It's a lot. It's a lot. And Teresa's a no good bitch. I can't imagine. My thing is, I can't imagine what that child went through. I can't imagine this bitch going in the woods with her own child and to do him like that and lie to the people. Y'all went in the woods to sleep because you took him away from the noise. Nah, bitch. You took him where you didn't think you would get caught. You know? And what the prosecutor says, they did the forensic analysis and whatever. That child was blessed, y'all. Even though he was stuck out there in those woods all that time, that child was blessed. Because all the months that he laid out there, he was never touched by an animal. Isn't that some shit? He just decomposed. Because they said when the forensics, when they did what they had to do, they said normally you see the scratches and the whatevers from the animals. They saw no signs of animals touching that child. No signs. So he had a little halo over his head. And that grave digger that stumbled across his remains, if he wouldn't have had to go and take a leak, he wouldn't have found him either. That's crazy. Right, Gigi? He ain't getting no justice. That baby didn't get no justice. And he didn't get no justice, you know. It was a cold case many, many, many years later. Many years later. And it's amazing though. Because if we think about it, not too many cold cases after so many years have passed do people actually get the justice that they deserve. People don't get the sentences that they deserve after these cold cases come uncovered. I could tell a story. I could tell a story about a girl that I went to school with. She had a baby. She had a baby while we were in school. Everybody knew she was pregnant. But then the baby never surfaced, but we never paid that no mind. We felt maybe the grandmother or aunt or somebody took the baby and raised the baby, right? But that wasn't the case. Years later, not years later, within that time frame of when she was supposed to have had that baby, and maybe a couple of months later, a baby was found at a car wash in a garbage can. And this girl was in school every day, participating in all these extracurricular activities, smiling with people, moving around like her life was normal. Nobody knew she threw the baby in the garbage can. But the man that she was pregnant for knew she did that shit, though. I'm about to tell y'all who that man was. They searched for the mother. They searched for the mother of that baby. They searched for the mother of that goddamn baby. Years went by. Decades went by. 30 years later. 30 years later. She made the news, y'all, a few years ago for the death of that baby. The father, everybody thought that shit had been gone away and died. The father of that baby, the motherfucker that had impregnated her, was none other than the community doctor. Same motherfucking doctor we all would go to. White man, old white man, impregnated that girl. And I would like to say that, or I would like to think, he helped her deliver that baby. He helped her deliver that baby. So, okay, years pass, time goes on. They can't include the doctor in shit because he done died. He done died. Right? But our black ass is still here. She was on her job. She was on her job a couple of years ago. They rolled up on her job, locked her the fuck up. Now she's awaiting trial. That was the situation. They locked her up. She was married. She had 5 other kids, grown kids. She had grandchildren. Her husband bonded her out. They're waiting to go to trial. 3 weeks before she went to trial, she died. She died. God has a way. I don't give a shit what you do. And what you think you getting away with, God got a way of making you answer for that shit. 30 plus years later, she answered for it. She answered for it. And I believe her death came from stress. Her and her karma. Because she was living her best life. She was living her best life. Anything you want. Whenever there was a party, she was the center of it. When the club doors opened, she was the first one in there. Living her best life. So whatever we do today, in this world, we got to understand and know. Ain't no expiration date on being wrong. When you do shit, God ain't got no expiration date on that shit. This shit comes back on your ass when you least expect it. Right, right, Nene? It sounds familiar. You know my thoughts, girl. It was crazy, y'all. It was crazy. Right, D? The veil was revealed before she went. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Let me move down to this chat. That's exactly right. V said the darkness I see in them people over their eyes. When she look at her girls, I've seen that look before, unfortunately. And you know what, V? I believe if that thing had legs, I believe if that thing had legs, V, I believe that thing would be a Teresa. I really do. And as I went through this story, I almost believe if y'all look at Teresa, look at Teresa's eyes, and look at that snake over their eyes. Something is telling me they're related. I don't give a shit. Something is telling me that they are related. Look at Nene. Niggas going raw dog in these psycho bitches having kids and get out of the relationship, leaving kids with psycho moms. Them bitches crazy. That's crazy. D said, I'm telling y'all, I be scared for the family next door to me. You just don't know. Hi, Manifest. You just don't know. You just don't know the people that you surround yourself with. You just don't know. Motherfuckers smiling all in your face and got darkness all around them. All around them. Right, Terry? Terry said, poor children don't ask for this. And they are so innocent. They definitely don't deserve anything but love. Exactly. Can't defend themselves. Can't defend themselves. Gigi says normal women who love kids, their kids will not understand it. Exactly. This shit is wild. D crazy. Yeah, D said Mocha. Did she wear those wigs also? She wore the piss out of a Mocha. I mean, D. She wore the wigs, D. She was that stripper. She was that stripper. That's crazy. Mimi said they took the Greyhound to Atlanta and lived like walking dead zombies, all of them, especially in that park Marcus go to, especially in that park. My God. And that's all all of them that's in that park, Nene, where Marcus goes to, I'm sure they migrated there. I'm pretty sure of that shit. Mel, I believe it. After Hurricane Katrina, we got a lot of crazies in Georgia. I'm just saying. Look, Katrina bought them all over the world. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. You probably got a lot of crazies from Katrina, but 80% of them come from North Carolina, South Carolina. Them Carolinas is a mup. Why are them people all from Carolinas running from stuff? What are they running from? I don't want no parts of that shit. Manifest said there are resources. It pisses me off with the laziness. It's like the ones come to Miami and say it's nothing, not true. Sweet Dark Chocolate says that's why ATL homeless population is so high and shitty. People just flock there without a damn plan. All this bitch knows she wanted to strip. Abs, you're crazy. Well, Abs, I want to know how you put Henry in this shit. How you put Henry, Abs, and stuck Henry in a whole nother storyline. Not Henry, huh, Abs? Henry was a son of a bitch. Henry ain't shit. This shit is crazy. Manifest said, yes, D, we are supposed to help our babies every which way possible. It would be less than a stanky leg not to help mine. Hell yeah. Roxanne says, my mama treated us different, but she loved all of us the same. Some of us just had different needs. My eldest broke was bad, so he always got his ass whipped. Meanwhile, I was an okay child. Roxanne, look, ain't shit wrong with parenting. That parenting that we got growing up, it didn't kill us. It didn't hurt us. It made us better people. It made us productive in society. It made us aware of what was going on and not to be dumb to certain things in life. Manifest says it makes me so proud to see how everyone here helps their families and not let them fall to the side. Even if we have shortcomings, we fight for them. And that's what a village does, Manifest. Especially if you were grown up, if you were raised in that era. I was raised, if I see someone that needs a helping hand, don't kick them. Help them. You help the next person because you don't know when is your turn. You don't know when is your turn. And that same person you frowned upon, that same person you walked over, that could be the same person that you're going to need to lift you up. But I ain't saying we could go through life helping every goddamn body, because everybody ain't worth the help. I know Abs. Abs say his kids is his world. He lives for them. Anything else is secondary, and I know it is. What connection you just getting, Fifi? Oh, what I said. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I told y'all. So, yep, that's what happened to the girl that I knew. She died. The girl died. Sweet Dark said the animals was probably protecting him. Not a scratch. All those months, not a scratch. Manifest said, yes, he was protected. My husband was found immediately. Fifi said they get sentenced based on the time that the crime happened. Something went wrong. That's what I'm figuring. I didn't think about the time that the crime happened, Yeah, I just said, well, shit, all of this time and passed. People couldn't remember shit. You know, you got witnesses on the stand that you trying to get them to remember shit from 20 some years ago. Everybody ain't remembering that shit. Nene says, right, Mocha, they remain cold cases. Therefore, this is a wonderful thing to hear. They cracked open the case. Yeah. Manifest said, yes, should have received death penalty. He received a 30-year sentence, the person who did it. Right, D, is more common than we could imagine. This shit here, my God. And that's the sad part. Yes, Fifi. You see, once they came out with the genetics and the DNA and the forensic shit, they had a lot of people running mad around here right now. A lot of people running mad. It's a lot of sick people out here, y'all. It's a lot of sick people out here. Right, D? And no statute of limitations of murder either. Correct. D said if that thing had legs, it would be locked up somewhere. For real, for real. All right, Gigi. Damn, Fifi said if she had legs, she'd have more kids. Lord. Terry says, I don't like her eyes. They're very sneaky. She and Teresa have the same eyes, Terry. I think they're related. I think they're related. Ab says she doesn't deserve prison. She'll get free food. Facts. Sister Living said this story give me chills. It's so many stories out there like that. So many stories out there like that. Sheena said Mocha snakes be snaking. Facts. Manifest says not giving that stank whore no credit. You heard? I'm just saying she can't possibly care about those babies. No way. Thank you, V. V said, I'm so glad you're bringing stories like these to the light. I love these type of stories. I love, hey, Deidre, I love these type of stories for real. D says, oh, D, you talking about your neighbor? She said, I don't talk to him like that. I just try to help them with extra food for 6 kids. Damn. Sheena says, I ran because North Carolina wasn't it. I hate that place. Abs. Henry was a motherfucker. That's all I know. Henry wasn't shit. Manifest says, let me tell you something about folks in some parts of the states, especially the South. Many of the older folks are afraid of the clears. Abs said that funk ass nigga done more shit. I'm positive. Abs, I believe Henry got some more shit hitting too. I'm sure. Look at V. V is crazy. V says Atlanta strip clubs do be lit from what I remember years ago. Girl, years ago. You probably ran across a fucking Teresa. Right, living. And most of those he had to stay on the porch. This shit is crazy. D said that stepdaddy beat us to the white meat. What is now dead at girl D, I remember your story. They got some cruel fucking people in the world, you know? They got some cruel people, but as cruel as people are, I can't for the love of me understand a woman carrying that connection that close to her for 9 months, creating that bond for 9 months. to do some fuck shit like that. I don't get it. I don't get it. Right, Deidre? They should have locked that ass up and threw away the key. But she's bragging on the other daughter that she has. Lady, you're sick. You are sick. Right, Nene? They're evil and they need Jesus. But guys, we done got this little story out the way. It was an interesting one, a very interesting one. And I'm almost at my 2-hour mark. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I guess we'll be back this week with a, hey, Lady SK, you're going to have to catch that good old replay, girl. Thank you, Abs. Thank you, Abs. But we done just about met that 2-hour mark, and I'm gonna be back with another story this week. These stories, they just keep giving. Thank you, Gigi. These stories just keep on giving, y'all. And I want to keep telling them because I love them. I love it. Yes, please hit the like button. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Sheena. Yes, I love this setting, app. Chat was amazing. I love this setting. I really, really do. But we're going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. It was beautiful. I enjoyed all of you all. And again, Abs, mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you, brother. You have my condolences. Fifi, I love you, girl. Happy birthday again. V says, great live, Mocha. I truly enjoyed the discussion, even though the story was heart-wrenching. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you, my love. Deidre says she showed no remorse for what she did to her child and continued on with her life like she did nothing. Exactly. Exactly. Love you so much, Gigi. Okay, Abs. He said, go hit me up as he land. All right, brother. I'll be waiting. But guys, we're going to get out of here. And again, like I said, I thank you all for coming. It was beautiful. So we're going to bounce up out of here on some grown and sexy type of shit.
We've been through the fire, but not refined. Lessons learned now intertwined. In this ambiance, we find our peace. A grown and sexy masterpiece. Grown and sexy, feel the groove. Mature rhythms make us move. No drama here, just pure delight.
Oh, stop that.
Stepping in the spot, confidence on display. Elegance and motion, we move our way. No time for games, we've outgrown the chase. In this grown and sexy space, we set the pace. Eyes meet, the vibe is right. Conversations deep into the night. Sipping on wisdom, age like wine. In this moment, everything aligns. Grown and sexy.
Love you too, D.
Mature rhythms make us move. No drama here, just pure delight. Living for the moment, owning the night. Dressed to impress, but it's more than the clothes. The aura we exude, the life we chose. Sophistication in every glance. In this dance of life we enhance. Laughter echoes, stories unfold. Sharing secrets, being bold. In this circle, trust is key. A sanctuary for you and me. Grown and sexy, feel the groove. Mature rhythms make us move. No drama here, just pure delight. Living for the moment, owning the night.
Thank you, Terry.
Refined, lessons learned now intertwined. In this ambiance we find our peace. A grown and sexy masterpiece. Oh, 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 oh. We've been through the
Good night, everybody.